Good morning, traders. Welcome to this week's Elliott Wave Forex and Cryptocurrency Market Analysis webinar. I hope you all had a wonderful week. It was a great week. The market was trending in the first half of the week and went into correction in the second half of the week. But we have been able to catch quite a number of moves, especially the moves that we discussed here during this webinar. So we're going to look at a couple of them as we go on with the webinar. Especially the pound pairs have rallied quite nicely, but made some retracements towards the second half of the week, towards the last part of the week. In any case, let's get started. Let's first things first here. If you are watching this and you're only interested in specific pairs, you don't want to watch the whole thing, you simply just have to go to any of the videos that we cover here. Go to the Show More tab. What you will see that is every pair will be time stamped. So that means if you want specifically US dollar ZAR, New Zealand US dollar, you just go and click on a specific pair you're looking for. For example, pound yen here. If you go to pound yen, it will take you right where pound yen analysis starts. So that works amazing. I was actually looking at that about 30 minutes before the webinar. I was looking at the oil analysis from 20 to 25 August, and just to see how perfect that played out is gratifying. So that just keeps confirming that the wave theory is quite a profitable and accurate strategy. Right, so that's what you do. You can do to make life easy for yourself. Right, so let's go back into the chart. So let's talk about the course. As I said last week, we are currently running the second last course of the year at the moment. This course is going to end this week, Thursday. So after this course, we have the last one of the year, which is going to run from November the 3rd up until, sorry, not November the 3rd, my mistake. The next course is going to run from December the 3rd up until December the 13th. That is the last course of the year. So that means we don't have a course in November. If you want to join the course in December, send me an email and I'll give you more details. So even if you don't wanna, even if the course is still in December, you can join at any time because the course is recorded in videos. So the day that you join, as soon as you confirm your registration, you get a full recording of the previous course. So that is a full course recording of the course that we've done in September or August, whichever one. Then that you get that to get you started. Because if the only difference between the recorded course and the live one in December is that you don't get to ask questions live on the webinar, but in December when you have the live session, you can engage and ask questions. So that is the difference. So the cost is $529 US. That price is only valid up until this year. Next year, the prices are going to be reviewed as you. That is based on the amount of work that we're doing in our group and the effort that we're putting in a group to assist the guys. Okay, so if you're interested in that, you need more information on that, send me an email. That's where you're going to get more details. You want to get more details during these videos because we need to spare the time for analysis. All right, so let's get started. As usual, we're going to start with a trade setup. We're going to trade setups. We're going to trade recap rather. We're going to look at some of the trades that we have been looking at for the last couple of days and how that has been playing out. Okay, so last week we had a special focus on the pound pairs and that they were making the last Z move. Let's see how that was playing out. But before we do that, let's do trade recap. I'm gonna bring up my Slack screen here. This is our Trading Waves platform. This is our premium group. This is where we trade and we upload all our charts. So just in terms of what we do, just a bit more information of what we do in this group. This group, if you look on the left-hand side, we've got charts. We've got channels for each and every chart. So you'll see that every chart, every pair has got its own channel. That means every person who's interested in AUDCAD will go into AUDCAD and have a look at the different setups for AUDCAD. So specifically, if we look at US dollar CAD, let's look at pound US dollar rather. So you'll see every person has got a view on pound, US dollar. We've got over 300 Elliott waivers in the group. So each person will have their own view and they'll post it there and then they'll discuss that. Okay, so then what I do is I post and pin my chart so everybody can refer and see if we are on there, if we're looking at the charts the same way. If not, then we discuss it and we see how we analyze that. So, but otherwise, all these charts, I update them on a weekly basis, either a daily chart or a weekly chart. So that is the benefit that you get. You've got, I mean, over 300 waivers looking at the charts with the same eye. So if you're a beginner waiver, if you're still learning wave theory, you've got 300 other people that are doing exactly what you're doing that can assist you. I wish I had this in my time when I was still learning. So yeah, so that works amazingly well. So let's look at the specific channel that I use to post the setups. These are forecasts, but we also have setups, specific setups. Let's have a look at trade setups and look at some of the pairs that we were looking at. I'll first recap the ones that we looked at last week and the new ones that we have updated this week. Right, so let's just go back up here and see where we start here. Let's see. Right, we will start with the ones that we discussed on Sunday, just to do a recap on that, and then we'll update how it's playing out going forward. We started with Euro Pound. Is Euro Pound? Let me just. This is the FTSE. Okay, this was the FTSE. That was posted last time. We expected the FTSE to drop to this level. Let's get this annotation right. We expected the FTSE to drop around this level. This was actually posted quite a while back. This was beginning of September. So we wanted this to bounce from this side, from this level here, but obviously it has dropped a little bit lower. But we'll update this as we go on to the indices during the webinar. So this has dropped to that level, but has actually pushed through lower than that. Okay, we will update this. It has dropped lower than that. That is the FTSE, and the next one here is, this was far back, quite a bit far back. Let's look at this one. This was US dollar ZAR. Okay, you can see that US dollar ZAR also bounced up here and went and reached that target. Okay, so we've actually reached the target on US dollar ZAR this week. As you can see, this is actually a trade setup. Everything else that you're seeing there that hasn't got this stop, entry, and exit is a forecast, or rather a setup that is waiting to play out. So this is a clear setup with a clear entry point that is ready to be taken. You can see that this has rallied into this level, and it has now started a bit of a reaction around that level. But that was a nice trade. It has played out perfectly. So another interesting thing about the fundamentals and the news and data that releases with the Elliott Wave theory. I did this chart on the, let's just check the date, on the 23rd of August. Okay, and 23rd of August, the rand has been weakening. Apparently, there was news that the current finance minister was involved in some scandals in the last couple of weeks. And then that has weakened the US dollar, the South African rand. So that has reached that target. So now, as soon as we reach the target, we hear news that the finance minister has been replaced, and now there's a new finance minister that the market apparently loves. Guess what happens after that? Now the market comes down. How did we know that the finance minister was going to be replaced and then that the market was going to reverse from that level? We didn't know. All I could see was what the charts was telling me. I don't look at the news. Obviously, I read and understand what is going on, but I don't use the news to trade. Okay, so that is a good example of how news can affect the market. Right, so this is Audi New Zealand. This is still lingering around this level, still lingering around that level, sort of pushing up a bit. The stop here has already been hit, so we'll see how that plays out in the next couple of days. Right, so let's get to last week, what we did last week. So last week we were talking a lot about the pound pairs. Pound Audi, for example, we wanted this to give us a correction here. It gave us a perfect correction and a perfect entry and has rallied, even though it has made some retracement around that level at this stage. But we've got a rally of a couple of hundred pips after the last couple of webinars. So that's playing out well. And also that is when we were looking for a specific entry on pound Audi. You see now we're looking for a specific entry starting to become a setup now. Then you get an entry point. As you can see now it has triggered and it is ready to fly, and it has it flew, as you can go and check onto your charts. That is pound Audi flying after that setup. All right, let's carry on with more Audi US dollar perfect setup. As you can see, it is a trade setup. This one has crushed this target. It has now started a V pattern here and made a reversal around that area exactly there. We're going to update where we think the next direction is going to be in the next couple of sessions. Okay, so last week I also updated this one, but it had not reached the target yet. It was a few pips from target. Next one here is pound New Zealand. Pound New Zealand is flying as well. As you can see the rally that happened in the pound price in the first half of the week. You can go check. That is pound New Zealand going. I've shown this last week. The rally continued last week as well during the week. So that is a US dollar ZAR, as you can see, pushed up higher, right up to that level. This is where the finance minister was replaced. The rally, the weakness in the South African rand was attributed to the finance minister being involved in scandals. I'm not going to go into the details about that. You can read up on what exactly was happening. Right, so that is what made the US South African rand weak up to that level. Last week we were here. Now we've actually crushed the 15 area, and as soon as we hit this target, finance minister replaced, and then we drop. Interesting, right? It's like magic. And then US dollar CAD. You can see this we have been talking about from when we were building this correction, that we were going to come into the blue box. This is an amazing trade. We came into the blue box, looked for entry, and down. This pair is around this level now. Okay, it has almost gone up to this level. We're going to update. Okay, and you'll see also there's another entry on that pair that we took last week as well. This was a US dollar CAD playing out, you see, right in the blue box. How did we know that the blue box, it was going to reverse in the blue box? The blue box is amazing. Right, so that was the blue box. Now, pound yen. Pound yen we're going to update because there's two things that could happen here. This is still sideways. Nothing has happened. Even last week I said the same thing. Nothing has happened. This is still lingering around this area. We're going to update what the next move is on this. Nothing has happened as yet after that setup. Next one is EURAUD. We've got this rally, and now it is now busy correcting there. Let's see how this, I will update this during the analysis, how this is gonna, what we think, what the move is gonna be. You can see that data, this has rallied since that analysis. This was 2 weeks back. This was 2 weeks back, by the way. That move continued into last week as well, and it is now making a correction around that area. We're gonna update. Right. That is EURAUD. Let me go into trade setups and just look at the ones that we looked at in the last week, exactly last week. I think there's a new trade. There's a new trade that I've added there. Let's look at trade setups. And this is where I post all my analysis for the members, all my setups. Not to give them signals, just to give them something to compare with. All right, so let's see. I don't know why I've got this mess here. Okay, so this was Audi. Okay, it's a new setup. This is a new setup. It does not look clear. We're going to update it during the webinar. Okay, let's look at what is new. So what is new here? What is new here is US dollar CAD. As you can see here, we had a setup, clear setup entry and everything on US dollar CAD. Remember, this started in the blue box. Now it came here and is set up with this clear corrective structure. There was another entry, and this has just rallied into this level. Although it is now making this flag. Make note, US dollar CAD this week may be trade of the week. There's a good chance that US dollar CAD will give you one of those almost guaranteed trade in this week. So keep an eye, stay watching. We're going to update this when we start with the analysis. There's a good chance that you're going to have a 100 pip rally on US dollar CAD, almost guaranteed. And if you miss that, then you really need help. Okay, so let's look at some more. This one is US dollar. Pound US dollar has rallied into the blue box, and it is now making this correction as expected. Okay, it's not the only one that is making those corrections. Even pound Audi is currently in those corrections, and we're going to update all of those. All right, let's see if there's anything new. There is this setup on US dollar CAD, just an update on US dollar CAD, and then we expect it to go into the blue box and then move up. Okay, but as it is now, we're expecting a quick move to the blue box. Okay, so just ignore this for now. I think I just forgot to remove this old trade in a different time frame here. I will update it properly, guys, the guys in the premium group. All right, so those are the setups that we looked at in the last 2 weeks, and it has been playing out well, quite a lot of money, and everyone was making money, I hope. So now, yes, an interesting thing here before we get started. Lastly on gold, just to see how the guys have been doing this. If we look at gold has now played out as we've been expecting for the last couple of days. If you remember what we're looking at on gold, I'm just going to pick up any pair from any of the members here, just so you can see that every member has been expecting the same move on gold. So for example, this one, you see here, this is just one of the members. Everybody we've been expecting gold to come here, give us this move, and then drop. Now we've got that move that we've been looking for the longest time. Now, almost every member in the group, I was looking at this morning, this channel this morning, and I was seeing that almost every member was expecting that move before it happened. Look, this is another one. This is another member. Look, everybody was expecting that this will come back and come back down. Just to see, there's a whole lot of members. Before this started playing out, look at this. Everyone was expecting the same move, expecting this up move before we drop. Okay, and I'm sure if I look for a couple of more, okay, this one was expecting it down before it goes. Look at this. So this is what happens when you see the charts with the same eye. You have the same views. Okay, so that's how amazing it works in the group, and that is what you get when you join us. All right, so let's get started with market analysis for today. So let's have a look. Let's start with US dollar, Euro US dollar, and the dollar index. Now, the Euro US dollar and the dollar index, it's quite interesting and not really interesting. It's quite tricky at this stage. But even when it is tricky, you should not worry, and you should. This is where you need to be. You need to be very wise. So let's have a look at what is happening on these two pairs. So from the top here, let's look at Euro US dollar. I don't have the full chart here. Let me see if I can bring the whole string in one screen. So from the top here on Euro US dollar, you see that we've got a swing down that has got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in green towards this level. So we've got these 3 here. Now we are busy with this move. This move is currently has not done anything but to go sideways. If you look at the dollar index, it has done the same thing. That is the move up to what we're now looking at as wave 3. We have made this 3-wave move, which looks like a wave 4. But is that complete? Let's switch off the labelings here. We've also made a 3-wave move here on the dollar index, but is that complete? Does that mean that this is a 3, this is a 4, and then now we're going to go for 5? Is this a 3 on Euro US dollar, this is a 4, and then now we're going to go for 5? It looks like, it does not look so, and it looks like we are still sideways. And when you're sideways, you get a number of setups. So what you want to do is to trade when this correction is complete. I'm on the daily chart here. When this correction is complete, but this correction may take a couple of days to complete, but you do not know exactly where this is going to go. There's a chance that this can go down or it can go up. But what do you do? How do you now trade these setups that look so complex? So this is what is happening here. With this, we are looking for patterns. We're looking to connect the puzzles. So if the number of current puzzles that are in place are not giving you clear direction as to where the structure is going, this is what you do. you wait for the next puzzle. Where is the next puzzle? The next puzzle is this one, and the next puzzle is this one. So we've got these two puzzles that need to give us a direction, whether from here we're going to go up or from here we're going to go down here. So this is how we take this. Now let's look at the two scenarios that we have here on the daily chart. Remember, this is still a triangle here, this is still a wave 3, and we're looking for this to be a wave 4. Either this will be a wave 4 here, or the wave 4 is going to complete here, but I'm thinking that this wave 4 is going to be more sideways than what it is here. Okay, so we've got 1, 2, 3 wave 4. We've got 1, 2, 3 wave 4 on the DXY as well. So remember, on the DXY, you've got this running triangle that looks something like this. You've got this running triangle. This is your wave 3. Now look what is there, what do we expect of the next move. So we've made a move down, we've made a move up. Two scenarios that I'm going to show you in red. Okay, just note that this red color is not showing a different degree. I'm just showing that the two scenarios that could possibly play out. So here we've got something like this. Here we've got a move down here that looks corrective. There's a possibility that this one is also a corrective move here, and we're going to drop here, at least to this level. And then here, if that drops there, this is going to come back up here. Okay, comes around that level. So if we make that move to this level, that means we are possibly making a regular flat like that, and then we're going to expect the wave 4 to be there. Similarly here, we're possibly going to be making a regular flat, and we're going to expect a wave 5 there to go, a wave 5 to go. What is another possibility here? Another possibility is this one here. I don't know, I don't think I can read it on the same screen, otherwise it's just going to clutter it. So another possibility is that instead of this coming down here, this can actually come here and retest this level, give you that, come back down here and give you that, and give you another one here, another move like that. Do you see that this will still be a corrective structure? It will still be a same corrective structure. So that is what happens within the corrective structure. A number of alternatives can happen, but you just need to wait for that next puzzle to give you at least the next move. So in this case here, at the bottom on the DXY, let's see what will happen here. So this also can carry on with this move here, continue with the move to this level. See here, continue, come and take there, come back up, and then you get this structure. And also here, you get another one to the downside. That will still be a wave 4. That will still be a wave 4. We'll still get a wave 5. We'll still get a wave 5. But I'm more inclined to the first bias. But it does not matter. What you are going to wait for is this current puzzle. What is this puzzle doing? Are you getting an impulsive move up? Are you getting a corrective move for downside? So that's what you're going to need to wait for. Let's go into the lower time frame. I'm going to go 4 hour and 1 hour on both, so you can see what we're looking at. There's something interesting in the similarities between the two pairs. Also the DXY, we're going to go 4 hour as well. Both of them will go to the 4 hour. I'm going to spend a bit of time on this. The rest is going to be faster. Okay, so if you look on the DXY, it looks like you've got an impulse and a correction. And if you look on Euro US dollar 4 hour, right, so let's look at the Euro 4 hour. So Euro, the last piece here is this one. It looks like you're making this corrective structure. Here, you've got this one here. It looks like you're making this corrective structure. Are we going to get this one to go and retest there? Are we going to get this one to go and retest to the bottom? So let's check on the 1 hour what is exactly happening and what the setup is. So because the lower time frame will give us direction as to what's going to happen in the higher time frame structure. So that's the 1 hour. Let's look in the 1 hour on both. US dollar 1 hour, US dollar currency index on the 1 hour looks a little bit different in that here it looks like you've got a pulse and then a correction. If this is the case, that means the US dollar index is still going to come down. Okay, the Euro US dollar, let's go for 1 hour as well. Okay, you see they've all got the exact same setup. So these are the possibilities that could happen in the next week. So you need to wait for this to happen. You've got this impulse here, you've got this impulse there. Now you've got a reversal, looks like a reversal, and now this corrective flag here. Here also looks like a reversal and this corrective flag here. So this corrective flag can bounce up, make a 3-wave structure, and then come down. This one here can also bounce down make a move down, and then we get a move up, making this a 1, 2, 3, and then drop 1, 2, 3, and up. Okay, so you need to watch these corrective structures in the lower time frame to see which one you're getting. If it becomes corrective like this, then it means we're looking for upside on Euro US dollar. If it looks like this, we're looking for the more downside on the dollar index. Unfortunately, there's no other way to trade this because we are now within a correction. There is no clear direction at this stage. So we're gonna keep watching this one during the next coming session. Rather stay away from this until it gives you a clearer structure. All right, so that's Euro US dollar. So let's carry on with the rest. Pound US dollar. Let's go to the other pairs. Pound US dollar. I'm mostly going to look at the 4-hour charts today. Right, so let's show everything there. So pound US dollar, you can see from the blue box, we expected that it's going to make that move. There's a possibility, 2 possibilities here on pound US dollar. Let's switch off here. Either this is going to make a 1, 2, 3 there, 1, 2, 3 there. We come down here with a pulsing move to this level before we go up. This will make this a WXY move. If you look here, you've got a 3-wave move here on pound. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. This actually should be red. 1, 2, 3, 1. Let's see here. My mistake there. This then will be a 1, a 2, and a 3. Regular flat. You'll expect another 3-wave move to this level before we drop. So that is what you're going to be looking at. Either that or this can actually just make a 3-wave move like this, like that, and then it goes. So if that happens, then it means you've got 1, 2, 3. This is the best looking one in terms of structure. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So if you get this whole thing as a corrective structure, then you know that you're definitely going for one more to the upside. Instead, actually, we're on the pound pairs, we're looking for one more up on all of them. So now we're looking for this one. It just made a downside, whether it's going to make a corrective structure like this. Any corrective structure that we've learned in the wave theory should be valid on this. So we may have another one of those guaranteed trades after the flag here. Okay, so that is what pound US dollar looks like at this stage. Okay, so we are still within this structure. Let's see how that plays out. A correction here, possibility for this to retest this with a pulsing move. Okay, making an expanding flat or actually a regular flat. We'll expect a regular flat around that level. So what you need to look out for is a corrective structure for one more in the next coming session. That's pound US dollar. Now trade of the week. Okay, so make note, guys, don't lose money with this trade of the week. I know I've given a couple of them in the last couple of weeks. These almost guaranteed trades. Okay, so this one is one of those as well. It was one of those almost guaranteed trades. A short move initially. We're still waiting for a big. We're holding for a bigger move to the upside. We've taken this trade here, as I've shown you in the blue box with during the trade setups. We've taken this move here from this level. Clear flag, clear pulse and flag here. Even if you didn't take it at that level, there was a second opportunity to take it there. Now there's another opportunity to take it at this level. And if you take it at this level, you can only take it if it breaks out above this. Okay, so it has to get out of this correction. This is not when I call a flag, it doesn't mean that it's just candles overlapping. There is a clearer structure internally within that flag. Okay, we don't discuss this in this group, but just to give you an indication, if I go to the 30-minute chart, you will see that there's a corrective structure there. So you need to understand what corrective structure there is there and how to trade it. You see here on the 30 minutes. Okay, I'm not going to discuss this corrective structure, but what you're going to look out for is for this corrective structure to complete. When it is complete, then you know that you're going to rally into this blue box initially for 100 pips. Almost 99% chance that if you get out of this, you clear this, you are guaranteed to come into this level for 100 pips. Okay? For 100 pips. If you have not subscribed to this channel as yet, if you get this trade, please subscribe. That's the only way you can pay me for giving me this beautiful trade. Okay. Actually, one of our members also, most of our members know how we spot this, and a couple of them have already spotted this. So you will be looking for this one to play out. It looked like it was going to play out here, but it did not. And we know how to trade this because looking at this level here and what was happening here, it did not trigger our strategy for a buy or a sell or to trigger the trade. So almost guaranteed. I cannot trust this enough. Only if I think this is the fourth time I'm giving you a trade like this that is almost guaranteed for a couple of pips. So this kind of trades recovers account. So if you get this coming this year, 100 pips, you should have a nice Christmas bonus in the next couple of sessions. All right, that's USDCAD trade of the week. Keep an eye on it. USDCHF. Let's go back to the 4 hour. We're looking on the 4 hour charts tonight or this morning. So USDCHF, let's have a look what is happening here. We've made an impulsive move. We are looking for this correction to complete. Once it's complete, then we move to the upside. So unfortunately, there's no other way. You just have to wait. We've got 1, 2, 3 up there. There's a possibility for one down again until this is complete, and then you go to the upside. So USDCHF correction here and a push up. There's an impulse here, it needs to be corrected. How long will this go? Could be one more before it goes. So wait and understand how these corrections play out. So if you don't understand Elliott Wave corrections, you won't be able to trade this. And also if you don't understand Fibonacci properly, you won't be able to trade these trades even if I'm showing you, because you need to wait for these setups, these corrections to complete as far as Elliott has identified them. All right, so that is USDCHF. Now, next one is a beautiful trade, Audi US dollar. I think you guys saw this. I've posted this in for our group members. This is what cluttered that chart. Need to remove it. This is the trade that is now completed. And now let's see how this one is going to play out going forward. I said last week this is incomplete. And if it makes a correction at this level, it's making a correction at this level, okay, then we're still going to go further down for one more into the blue box. So it has now made a regular flat at that level. So we'll expect that to rally down. So if you're expecting this down here, it may mean that Euro may also come down with it. Okay, we need to watch and see how that is going to go in the next week. Okay, so this is a clear flat correction and we're looking for downside. Now, looking for that downside on Audi, I'm going to bring out gold. We're going to do gold after all the US dollar pairs, because gold should go with Audi US dollar. These are correlated. This is correlated with gold. So let's see if gold is going to start setting up. It looks like gold has got one more up before we come down, but we're going to look at that. But as far as the Audi US dollar is concerned, it looks like we're going to get a move to the downside. We've already made a passing move down. Let's go into the 1 hour. Okay, we've already made this passing move down. So if you made this passing move down on the 1 hour, if you get this, then you're taking this all the way down to the blue box once more. Okay, let's go back to the 4 hour. Let's do the rest. New Zealand, switch off, has also made a 3-wave correction. 1, 2, 3. Either this will correct and push up higher for a double correction, but I'm looking at this to come down if Audi is going to come down. So if Audi is going to come down, this will also correct here, and we're going to go further down. So the bearish move on New Zealand still incomplete as well. We're still looking for one more down on New Zealand before we get that reversal. Okay, so that's New Zealand, the US dollar. Now, US dollar ZAR, that's the one that we were discussing during the trade setups. Okay, this is the weakness that was attributed to the finance minister being involved in scandals. This is what happened. The US dollar rallied against the US dollar, South African rand up to this level. So finance minister replaced. Now it comes down. Now everybody seems to be confident that South African economy and politics is going to stabilize. So that's why you're seeing that strength in the US dollar, South African rand. But as far as I'm looking at this, we've got an impulsive move here. We've got a nice move here. It looks like it's slowing down here. You may get a move like this, and you still get this to go to the upside, making this a bigger structure, sideways structure. So, and in terms of direction, it is still going to go sideways against the US dollar as far as South African rand is concerned. Okay, so let's have a look here. So we've got a move down. We've got a 1, 2, 3 here. We may get another corrective structure like that. Give you another 1, 2, 3. Even if we take here, we may still come back for one, which is the same as this one here, giving you this 3 wave structure like this. 1, 2, 3. It's all possible. It's all possible, but this is forecasting way ahead. So we need to see what is the next puzzle. It's only one immediate puzzle you can put on. You've got 1, 2, 3. You need to see if we're going to get a corrective structure here. This structure will tell you which direction the South African rand against the US dollar is going to take. Whether we're going to get this one down here, or whether this is going to retest the top. Okay, so that's US dollar ZAR. Now that's all about the measures. That's all the measures, as well as the US dollar ZAR. Now let's look at gold. Interesting structure on gold. Gold is the one that I was discussing during trade setups. Look at that move. We have been waiting for that move. I think if you go into all my videos for the last couple of weeks, you'll see those lines. You'll see those lines showing that gold, as much as it is doing this and that, we still want one more up. Okay, are we gonna get one more up now? Is this the end? Can it reverse from here, or is it gonna touch the blue box? It does not have to go to the blue box. We prefer it to go to the blue box. If it goes to the blue box, it's it's almost an even better confirmation. We may come back here and retest that level before we drop, or from the current levels, gold can just start with the down move. Okay, it has only made a 3-wave move down here, so there's a likelihood that this may still push one more up before we come down. So we need to monitor this, because there's another possibility that this move would have ended here and that gold is ready for a rally to the upside. But I'm not inclined for this second bias. I'm more inclined for this to just touch the blue box and reverse, or even reverse from current levels. So that's how amazing this is. For the last couple of days, we have been looking at this correction, forecasting how this is playing out. If you remember, this is what we showed you on this while it was playing out, that we've made a 3-wave move down, we've made a 3-wave back correction, and it is now making another 3-wave down. Now it has made a 1, 2, 3 up. We've made a 1, 2, 3 up. Can you see that this is clear 1, 2, 3 wave structure, and then we can expect a move to the downside? And this was actually a wave 4. This was actually a wave 3. We have a 2. We have a 1 there. We have a wave 1. We've got a wave 2 there, and then we've got this one looking like a textbook setup. So let's see how this plays out in the next coming sessions. I'm expecting that this will drop from here, or it can just push up higher to the blue box and then drop. Interesting. It's amazing when it plays out like this. It's very amazing when it plays out like this. So that's what you're gonna wait for. You need to wait for this to give you a clear structure for one more. Buying here for one more is a little bit tricky, because you're going to be going to the blue box, and there's a very likelihood of a reversal. So wait and see what structure you get. That is gold. We have to do silver as well. Silver, we spoke about this corrective structure that is happening. So looking at silver, it looks like silver may still push up higher. So if that is still going to push up higher, that means gold may push up for one more before we drop. Why would we expect that silver will push us up higher? Because this is a 3-wave move, and this is an incomplete move, WXY move, and then we drop. Remember, I have been looking for this corrective structure from when it was this small. When it was this small, I've been expecting this to go to the 1350, but it made a double. As you can see, it made a double here, made a double, and another double. So here you've got a WX. Let's do that in a lower degree. You've got a WXY in the lower degree. Now you've got this one here. Now you're looking for this one here. Now you're looking for this one. Are you going to get a 3? Push higher to complete this bigger WXY. XY move. Okay, so that's what you're going to be looking at. This structure here should actually just be a three-wave move like that. Running flat there, something like that. So if this pushes up higher, that means gold is going to push up for one more. Or otherwise, this move has completed here and it's just pulling back and we're going to come down. It's just pulling back here and we're going to start coming down. I'm not expecting this one. I'm expecting just a slight push higher before we drop. Okay, so that's silver. So if we drop from here, the next level is 1350. Why 1350? You can check on the daily. Then once that correction is done, when that correction is done, the next stop is this level. Not a support or resistance, a structural level. We'll be looking for this to drop minimum to that level. That is silver. Now let's look at the yen pairs. Pound yen. Good morning. Somebody's just joined us with a registered name, iSense. It doesn't show your name. Okay, so let's look at pound yen. Pound yen is a little bit tricky at this stage. It is making what looks like a corrective structure, but this corrective structure is none of the ones that we have learned in the wave theory. So there's a possibility that this is actually making a pulsing move to the downside. Now let's look at that pulsing move to the downside and see how that can come about. If you look on the daily, you'll see that there's a 1, 2, 3 wave move. There's a 1, 2, 3 wave move correction. And now we're looking for this one to give us a 1, a 2, and a 3 wave move. And we're looking for this one to be a pulsing move to the downside should it break out of this structure. Okay, I'm going to switch off the labelings here. So, and just make it clean here. So if we break out of this structure, not because it's trend lines, it will just show us that that structure has completed 1, 2, 3 wave up to that level. This is still within the blue box. So breaking out of this level is telling us that this is not pushing higher, but rather coming down. Correction here, we're going to be coming for this one. And if we get that one, it means you can possibly get a 1, 2, 3 down, 1, 2, 3 up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down, which will be either a regular or an expanding flat, depending on what it does when you get to this level. It can even be a running flat, guys. So you can see that this is a combination of corrections, WXY. And if we get one more down, we're going to push higher. Okay, so it all depends on how this puzzle plays out here. So let's see on the 4 hour, see how that is playing out. So there's a likelihood that this, I was looking at that as a triangle, but I see that it has violated the rules of a triangle. So I'm invalidating a triangle. Those internals in this structure looks very impulsive and it cannot be a triangle. Okay, if it continues and starts and keeps on building the structure, we will eventually understand what they're trying to build here. But at this stage, this is not a triangle. This is an impulsive move. If it was the only impulsive move, it was going to be acceptable. But there's another impulsive move here. So it cannot be accepted as a triangle. So you cannot expect this to be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we expect this was actually supposed to have gone from here anyway, and it didn't. So that invalidates that triangle. So there's a likelihood that this is actually a 1, and this is a correction wave 2, and then we're going to come down with a pulsing move to the downside. Okay, so let's keep an eye on this. If you get a setup here, you can take it because it can come or go all the way down. Alternatively, there's an alternative here. If that is actually a corrective structure, which we will understand when it is complete, then that means then that this is not a WXY, but rather I've talked about this a couple of weeks, for a number of weeks now, that this can actually go from current levels. Instead of this being a WXY move, but rather a WXYXZ, that means that that is completed and we are ready to get this corrective structure here, not a triangle, and another move, at least minimum to that level for another move. So we need to watch. I've had this set up for the last 2 or 3 weeks now, and it has been in that consolidation for the last 2 or 3 weeks. Nothing has been happening here. So if you are trying to trade within this correction, you may have lost quite a bit of money, even if you're a day trader, because even day traders or short-term traders need trending markets as well. When they're not trending, you can actually lose money around that level. So we're gonna wait and see which way this will give us. Whichever way, we should be able to make a lot of money. Down, we're coming down minimum to this level. Up, we're coming minimum to that level. Okay, so up will even push higher. We'll expect to push higher, but not in this straight line fashion, but rather in corrective structures. As you can see that this is corrective, it needs to be corrective as well. That's pound yen. So pound US dollar. Pound US dollar last week, I was looking at the current move down. The current move down, if you look on the daily chart that I posted last week, I was looking at it as only a pullback, but it looks like that is not going to be only a pullback. It may change the structure slightly. So let's see how that plays out. Just hold on a second, guys. 1 second. Sorry about that. Let's resume, guys. My apologies. I had to take that. Right, so let's carry on with the US dollar, US dollar JPY, US dollar yen. So let's look at the structure that we've looked at for the last year or so. Let's go to the daily chart. There's a different view that one of our members came up with, and it actually makes sense based on the way this is going. You can see that this is now slow in terms of speed. And let's have a look. So all along, we have been looking at this as an impulsive move, and this three-wave move SA1, SA2, SA3. Okay, so from this, we've been looking for this to give us the move that is similar to this. But if you look at this move, it looks slow now. It is not this fast. And that's what we've been expecting. So if it is not that fast, so there's a likelihood that this move rather is actually a move, a running flat, and another move. Okay, so there's that likelihood that this is actually a 1, 2, 3, a 1, 2, 3 up, but this 1, 2, 3 looks incomplete. It may give us one more up before we make another big one to the downside. So let's keep an eye on this one and see how this develops. Because if we've got that, then that means this is going to be a 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So two things can happen. Either we can come down here, if we get a correction here, either we can come down from this current level and start making this bigger structure, or we can get one more up and then we start making this level move to the downside. At this stage, at the speed that it's going, it will be very difficult for it to reach this level that we've been expecting of it. We did buy this right at the 104 level, which we forecasted when we were still here about a year ago or 2 ago. We forecasted the 104 that we're going to buy from that level, and then we've been buying US dollar since. Now it looks like it has become very slow and it's not going to reach that level. So let's see the two scenarios that we can have here in the next coming sessions. A correction here will mean that we're going to get a move at least to that level. Okay, so there's a likelihood that this can be that, but this one is too impulsive to make an expanding flat like that. So we'll disqualify these as well for now. So instead of getting headaches with this, you just look for the next immediate puzzle. So right now you've got a pulsing move down. You've got a pulsing move down on US dollar JPY, US dollar yen. Right, so you made three-way move down here. At some point, you're going to need to make a deeper correction. If you make a deeper correction like this may give you a move like this. Okay, so let's see how this now plays out. As it is now, you want to wait for a clear, deeper move. As it is now, you cannot just sell this flex because soon it was going to correct. Right, that is US dollar JPY. Euro yen. Euro yen as well. Last week we spoke about, gave you the daily charts, looking at this current move as a pullback. So that looks like a very deep pullback. Let's look at the post last week, see if we still have it. Okay, we're looking at that as an X move, but this is now only a single wave. It's only a single wave, and it still needs to get a correction and another move to the downside. So we're still bearish on this one, short term. Let's see if we're going to get this move to the upside. But for now, the next puzzle is telling you you've got a pulsing move down, you need to get a correction, and one more down. Okay. You need to get this corrective structure here for further downside. Let's see how that comes along. Chief Yen. Chief Yen, what a beautiful one that we traded. Actually traded it from, where did we trade this from? We traded it from here. And then it pushed up higher, one of those guaranteed trades. Okay, so now this one has made this three-way move here to that level. Let's just go to the daily here so you can see the structure. We are on the daily. Switch off. Right, so on the daily, you see that we've made a three-way move up. We're going to 1, 2, 3, expanding flat. And then we made this 1, 2, 3. So there's a likelihood that this move here is also incomplete. As you have seen, what we're looking at on US dollar yen, this move is actually slow compared to this one that we wanted. So this could be a WXY move. So we're coming down with the yen, with the chief yen. We need to get a corrective structure. So chief yen looks like we'll have still has a long way to go back to around the 108 area based on the current move that we have. So for it to come back here and give us a W, an X, and a Y move. Okay, so we'll be looking, if we get a deeper correction on the chief yen, we're gonna complete the last move to the downside, because as it looks right now, it looks like this move will do 1, will do 2, no, that 2 will do 1, 2, and then a 3. Okay, all of that will be correcting this. So now it is very clear what is happening with the current move. We'll be looking for a corrective structure and take this all the way down to this level. That will make this W, X, Y. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Before we get another 1, 2, 3. Very clear structure. That 1, 2, 3 will be a big corrective structure for this one. Okay, that big corrective structure for this one will be something like this. Will be something like 1, 2, 3. See, very interesting. But don't worry so much about the forecast. What you can see immediately is this pulsing move to the downside. Okay, that's CHFJPY. Very interesting. AUDJPY. AUDJPY, one of our traders, has traded this one from right at the top here, from right at the top all the way down. I was looking at the other pairs. I was looking at the euros for the pullback. I didn't actually trade Audi yen. I was trading Audi US dollar. So you see that that is the Audi US dollar that we gave a setup for, but other members were trading this one. Right. So this is AUDJPY. We're still expecting one more down. Still expecting one more down here before we go up. So we're still bearish. If we still continue to get correction here, it's still coming down. See, we're still expecting one more down in the red degree. Okay, not very clear at this stage what's going to happen until you get a clearer correction. That will tell you that you're going to complete that red Y. Right, so that's Audi yen, New Zealand, similar. We're busy correcting right at the bottom. Still expecting further downside. Okay, I need to go down to the lower time frame on all of them. Let's go for hour. Okay, so we've made a pulsing move down here. We've made a pulsing move down here. This may be a corrective structure for one up and then a drop. So keep an eye, watch for the next piece of the puzzle around this area. That's New Zealand. Now that concludes, no, it doesn't. We still have CAD yen. CAD yen. Last week I showed you a harmonic pattern here. I don't often often show you these harmonic patterns, but when I do show you, it actually plays out. Okay, so let's have a look at CADJPY. Now, if you look at CADJPY, this is the pattern. Go watch last week's video. I showed you this harmonic pattern, and that this has reversed right on the 78, and we're looking for this to continue to the downside like that. Okay, that's the reason. The reason why we're showing you this one is because we've got this move down here. We've got this 3-wave move down, up to the upside. So it's a 3 down, 3 pull back. Now we're expecting 3 down. Easy like that. You're expecting this move. Any correction here, you keep taking it down. Minimum this level. This level can even be broken. But for now, you've got a pulse. You keep trading to the downside. Any corrective structure of this size, you keep taking it down. That's CAD yen. Right. That's all the yen pairs. US dollars we've already done. Let's do the pound pairs. Now the pound pairs, if you go back to the daily charts that we discussed last week, you'll see that they've all rallied as we've discussed. Okay. So all the structures on the pound pairs is still valid as per last week, because last week I also discussed only the daily, I discussed the dailies with you guys. Okay, showed you that this current move here that is starting is actually this first move here. Let's just show you here. It's actually the first leg that is happening here. So we had this first leg happening here. We'll be expecting a corrective structure for further upside. This bars pattern here, let's just show you. This bars pattern here, I pulled it from there. If you look at this here, just want to show where I pulled that. That, you can see that's the start of the uptrend here. And it's exactly the same as this. It's exactly the same as this. I'm going to take this one from there. The way this one has started, you can see it's exactly the same. It's exactly the same move. Oh no. Let's do it again. There. We take that. I just want to compare. And I'm going to need to stretch this one because it's starting out smaller. You can see that it's exactly the same. It's starting exactly the same. So we're expecting that from there, we're going to get a push. We're going to get a correction. This correction, guys, on the pound pairs, when they're done, we're going to have another rally. We had a rally in the first half of the week. We'll expect another rally. Let's see how that plays out. Okay. So pound chief, if we go to the 4-hour, what you're gonna be waiting for is to see if you're getting any corrective structures in the lower degree. This is too small. You need something a little bit bigger, something that is the same size as this red degree. Let's see what you're gonna get. Okay. Pound Audi, the clearest one of the pound pairs. It is now making a corrective structure. So what has happened here now? Let's show you the daily on this one. It's one of the clearest pound pair you can find at this stage with a setup. We are looking for this one. It has now reached this level here. This one also, let's just check something here. Okay, so now this one here, similar to CAD, it's another one. Trade of the week if this plays out. If you get this corrective structure here complete, you are going to rally into for 400 pips. This is a daily chart. Okay, if you get this corrective structure here to break to the upside, you are going to get this guaranteed almost 300 pips to the upside to complete that last leg. Let's just go into the 4-hour. It's another one to watch. Don't know if it's going to play out in the week, but let's see. This breaking out of this structure will definitely rally into this blue box. So let's see, right now it has reached these new highs here and made a 3-wave move. Is this 3-wave move complete? Let's see. When this is done and it starts pushing up higher and you get a setup, take this, hold it all the way up for 300 pips. Trade of the week, if you get it, it's a very nice trade. Thank me later. That's pound Audi, pound CAD, pound CAD similar. Go to the 4-hour. We made a passing move to the upside. We made a passing move to the upside. So we don't know if that is making these corrections, this corrective structure here. It has taken that structure, there's a likelihood that this can go all the way down. But based on the other CAD pairs and the other pound pairs that we're looking at, this can just be making a corrective structure here at this level and pushing higher. In any case, this is the orthodox low here. This does not touch the low there. So this can still give us a corrective structure for further upside at that level. Okay, so keep an eye on this puzzle here, see what happens here. That's pound CAD. Pound New Zealand. So pound New Zealand, look on the 4-hour. So pound New Zealand, we looked at this whole structure here as a triangle. This is a triangle. And that this was the low of this swing. It started this move here. Okay, so it looks like we made this 1, we made this 2, and now we're making this 3. It looks like there's one more up that we need here on pound New Zealand. Based on the structure, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. This could be a 4. We're gonna need to get a 5 as well. Okay, let's just expand it a little bit. Okay, looks like all the 5 waves have completed here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But which one does it complete? Because we've got a lower degree one there. Let's just have a look. So here we can see that it has completed the 5. Let's see where the swing starts. The swing starts here. This is where the triangle ends. So we made a move up here. 1, 2. Now we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. This one is a 1 more to make this an ABC move. So we need one more up here from current levels. Okay, so pound New Zealand, we're still bullish. The sequence is not done. We need one more up. Even if we don't, we're not going to reach the target in one go at that stage. But right now, we need one more go before we get a deeper correction. That's this. The target on this is still very far. Let's just see here. See where the target is. I've actually indicated that we need one more up into the blue box, a reaction, and a push higher. Okay, so that's what we're going to be looking at on pound New Zealand. Well, it's different pairs. You've got Audi, you've got New Zealand. They can't be exactly the same. Right, so let's go to pound CAD, pound New Zealand. We've discussed all the pound pairs. Let's start with the euro pairs. I think we've done all the pound pairs. Let's look at the euro pairs. Running a bit of time behind now. So this was the structure last week on the daily. We're looking for this one to come down. And now it looks like it's starting this red X correction here. Let's see if that's going. So this is the pullback that you're getting on the pound pairs to the downside. So we're expecting the same thing on euro pound. And after the pound moves for that one last up, we should expect euro pound to move down for that one last down before we get this move. Let's go 4-hour. 4-hour, not 3. Okay, so that is the red the red degree happening here, this correction. So when this correction is done, we're looking for a drop, similar to what we're looking at on other pound pairs that are looking downside. These pullbacks looking down will mean we'll push higher. That's Euro Pound. Euro New Zealand. So Euro New Zealand is, I need to go to the 1 hour to see this corrective structure that is currently happening here. If you go to the 1 hour, it looks like Euro New Zealand is going to make a zigzag correction there. We've made 1, 2, 3 pullback, one possibility for this one to be a regular flat and down. So we're making this 1, 2, 3. Even though this looks very impulsive, it's not actually impulsive, it's corrective. So you could have this one as a WXY move. You could have a blue box here. We don't show the blue box here. So that's how this one could play out in the next coming couple of sessions. If you get a corrective structure like this, this one will be a good one for further upside. Okay. That's Euro New Zealand. Looking pretty interesting with that structure. Euro Audi. Let's get Euro Audi. Euro Audi similar. We've rallied all the way to this level. We've made now a 3-wave pullback. Has already made another pulsing move. Can this one go and press and retest this level? This is actually on the 60 minutes, so it's very short time frame. So this can retest there, come back down there, one more to the upside. Let's look at the 4 hour. That's where we can see the structure properly. So this whole thing here, we've made this 1, 2, 3. We've traded this one from when this structure completed. That's where the setup happened. Okay, so now this could be another flat correction like that. That will take us higher. Whether this is gonna come down and retest this one, it's another story, because this one has already broken this. It can come back. It can be going from that level, and this one would have become a running flat. So there's a possibility for that one to have played like that. I'm not interested in this one at this stage. That's Euro Audi. EURGBP. EURGBP. It's making this corrective structure. It's going up in corrective structure. It looks like pound chief. A drop from the current levels will mean downside. So this is crawling up. Unless this is making a diagonal, I think it is making a diagonal. Unless this is making a diagonal wherein this is going to come do that, then we're going to push up higher for one more. Let's just see here what my count is. I think it is. I think I've indicated a diagonal. We're still going to do EURCAD. We're still not done with the euros. Thanks. Thanks, G. Right. Let's take this off. So if this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, this could have been a 5 actually. The 5 could be there, because the 5 is supposed to be a 3-wave move. So this could be a 5 that pushes up against the upper boundary between 1 and 3. So that could be a wave 5, and from there we're going to expect a correction, a deeper one, for one more up. Okay, so if it just goes like this and corrects here, then that was going to go all the way down. But for now, we've got a nice diagonal, needs to be corrected. A diagonal is a motive wave. Okay, so keep an eye on this correction that may come out from these levels. You're gonna need to be patient, because this is a 240, may take a couple of days to build. EUROCHF, EURCAD. EURCAD, we've made a passing move up. It's a 1, it's a 2, it's a 3, it's a 4. We're expecting a 5. Here, it may come back down for 1 before it goes. So on the 4-hour. Wait for this corrective structure to set up like this. If it makes a clear three-wave move like this, then we're ready for upside. We've made a pulse, we need to correct a correction. After the correction, we need to get a pulse. Simple as that on EUROCAD. Right, let's look at Audi New Zealand. Audi New Zealand has been in sideways consolidation on this one for a while now. So after this is complete, we'll expect that we're going to have this 1, 2, 3 move. We're going to have it also on this side. Okay, so the trick is to wait for this one to complete and see how this one can come down here. Okay, not very clear how it has to complete this structure, as I said. Right, New Zealand CAD. New Zealand CAD on the daily, it has missed the level that I wanted it to reach by a couple of pips. Still a possibility that it can still drop to that level. Just looking at the New Zealand and some CAD pairs. So this one, I wanted it to come to this level. It's missed it by a few pips. Does this mean that this will now go with a big move that we spoke above? It can be going from that level, or it can still come down for one, break this level, and start going with a move similar to that. And this being a corrective structure. Okay, so we need to see. So let's go into the lower time frame and see what's going to happen, whether we're going to get one down or whether it's going to go from there. I'm anticipating one down. But it doesn't matter what I want. What matters is what the market gives us. We've got a clear pulse. Now we've got a correction. So that means we're going to get a push higher. A clear pulse and a correction. When this breaks to the upside, you want to be in this trade. So just be careful. It has made a 1, 2. And internally here, it has made a 1, 2, 3, 4. Possibility for the 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And a deeper correction before we start going. Okay, so let's see how this plays out. Right, that's New Zealand CAD. Now let's look at oil. Oil is amazing. The analysis here has been spot on oil. If you go to the video, I think from 2025 August, you'll see that we focused that this was going to come down here. It was going to come back down here and make this move. I actually didn't think it was going to come and retest that top. I thought it was going to make from there. It was going to make this move. So this move that is currently happening on oil, it is after taking here, and now we're coming down with this one. So it looks like we're making this deeper sideways, not deeper, it's making a more sideways corrective structure after the wave 5. Very clear structure on oil. It's very tradable. Okay, showed you the whole structure. Look how many waves have played out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is now playing out, and this one is now coming down with a 6th wave. Very interesting on oil. Now we're busy correcting with this move here. Wait for this corrective structure to complete and take it down. Taking it down to this level. That's where either a running flat can happen, a regular flat can happen, expanding flat can happen. But most likely 1 and 2 can happen because this one has broken, so this one may not be a regular flat. That's oil. Now let's look at the indices. Indices, we've been looking for them to push up a little bit further up higher than where they dropped from, based on the S&P 500. I'm gonna keep the S&P 500 on all the indices. So let's do this. Let's bring the NASDAQ at the bottom. Daily on both. daily rather, not the weekly. Let's bring them all up. Okay, so we've got the S&P 500 at the top, we've got the NASDAQ at the bottom. So this is what I've been looking out for all along. I was looking for S&P 500 to at least reach the 307 area before the drop. The reason why I was looking for the S&P 500 to do that was because the NASDAQ at exactly the same correction, which is this one here, the running flat, broke this level and kept pushing higher. So I expected that S&P 500 will break this level, which it did, and keep pushing higher before we start getting the drop. Obviously, now we got the drop earlier than we anticipated, but that's fine. So the structure now is very clear on all the indices, as you will see going forward. Now, if we look at the S&P 500, it has now made a passing move. We're now getting this corrective move. It's likelihood that this one is going to make a long sideways regular flat like that to come and retest this level, the 2555 level, before we push up higher again. Okay, so the NASDAQ as well is making, it will be making a newer correction at this level, maybe something like this, because there's no relationship between this one and this one as far as the NASDAQ is concerned. Okay, so the S&P is on the 4 hour. Okay, let's just fix it. Still the same though. Thanks, Karim. Okay, so that's the structure that we're now going to look at for. It's now going to be a simple 1, 2, 3 wave structure, either a running flat. Unfortunately, a running flat does not give you a warning. It can go from any level, or it can be an expanding flat as it has already broken there. Then if it is a running flat, this can come and break this low here before it starts pushing higher. It is not going to go all the way down. This is still a corrective structure. It's still a sideways move. So when it gets to that level, we'll expect to see a reversal. The indices long term, we're still bullish. We're still going to go up. Okay, even though we're getting this strong move to the downside, this is only a move for a flat. So keep selling up until to this level. Okay, it would have been nice if it went to the 307 area first, but that's fine. That's the market. Okay, so similar with the NASDAQ, we're gonna expect corrective structure here and one more. All right. Gary is asking running flat. I don't know if you're asking what a running flat is. Jakub is saying there's correlation coefficients on general bro for indices, just in case you want to see. Oh yes, I'll have a look at that. Thanks, Jakub. So you're saying the correlation between all the indices. Yeah, so Jakub is in our group is telling me that he's made the correlation coefficients for all the indices. So it's important to understand the correlation for all the pairs, because the market moves as a whole. No pair moves in isolation. That's fine. We'll have a look at it. That's the S&P 500. So just look at the bottom. That's where I'm going to be changing the chart. I'm going to keep the S&P 500 at the top. Let's look now at the next one, which is this is the NASDAQ. We've looked at the NASDAQ. Let's look now at the UK 100. So now the UK 100, this is the structure that we're going to be looking at. So it looks like this is still one structure on the UK 100, this current one here. 1, 2, still gonna get a bit of a drop here. It has broken up here, as it has broken up this level here. So we'll expect it to break down slightly here before we get a push up higher as well. So that move here on the on the FTSE 100 will be this move here on the S&P 500. It's not going to happen in a straight line. We're going to have a corrective structure first here. Okay. So that is the FTSE 100. If I just put on the labeling here on this one, you'll see that we've got this 3-wave move down. This correction looks impulsive, but we can accept it as a correction. So it's going to be a WXY move. Okay. Right. So what's going to be looking at here? Push a little bit lower and a push higher. Okay. Just need to remove this. Need to adjust this. Right, so that's the FTSE 100, a little bit more downside. This should break this low and make this structure 1, 2, 3. Now, Christopher is Jakub is referring to the premium group, not here. All right, so let's carry on. That is the FTSE, and next one is the Nikkei. Nikkei has got a very clear structure on the Nikkei. Now look at this on the Nikkei. This Nikkei can actually give direction to the rest of the indices in terms of the structure. We've got this move here. It made a 3-wave move down. It made a 1, 2, 3-wave move up. And it's making a 1. We're going to expect a move up and then a down to complete this regular flat. Okay, see the Nikkei. Nikkei very clear. So it's on the daily. You're going to wait for this correction before we push up with another move to the upside. That's why I'm saying the indices are not bearish long term. It's a correction. We expect it is supposed to happen, even though we anticipated that it's going to push a little bit higher before it comes down. Okay, that's okay. So that is the Nikkei. You're going to be waiting for a corrective structure and one more down. Right there, the bottom, again, I'm going to change to the DAX. So the DAX is similar to the UK 100 in terms of structure. Same here, we've got 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so this one looks like it's going to make a bit of a zigzag, something like that, before we move to the upside. It's a bit unsafe to sell at that level unless you get a deeper correction. You need to take profits quickly because this can make 1, 2, 3, and then we push higher. That is the DAX. Nifty, similar. Okay, at this stage, the Nifty, it does not look like you can relate this with that and that to make it a regular flat, because this one has rallied quite a bit higher than the previous high. It pushes out higher than the allowed guideline above this previous high here. But it happens sometimes. But if it is the case, then this means that it's possibly an expanding flat that will complete and go up. But otherwise, if there's no relationship between this and that, then this is a passing move. You're going to get another corrective structure, another one, before we go up. So which means the key now is to wait for a correction to see where the direction of the Nifty is going. Okay, so the Nifty is also going with the Sun Pharmaceutical stock that we bought for the Indian traders. Okay, that we not bought, that are analyzed for the Indian traders. One of my Indian traders in the room who likes to trade this specific stock. Okay, bought it from right here at the bottom. It has been correcting since. We expect to have a correction. Bought it from right this level. It has rallied to this level with a 3-wave move. It's a possibility for it to make another 3-wave move before we keep going like that. Okay, so that is the Sun Pharmaceutical. Okay, guys, so that concludes the indices. Let's lastly wrap up with cryptocurrencies. Cryptos, let's go back to one chart. Bitcoin. Bitcoin has dropped as anticipated last week. Let's go to Bitcoin. So on the daily, we're still expecting that impulsive move on the Bitcoin. It is starting to set up nicely, that move. Let's show the structure first before we talk about that V pattern. Let's take this off here. Doesn't mean anything there. Now we've got this structure. Let's talk about the structure first. The structure is a move down, 3-wave move down. Okay, we've made a passing move up here. It looks like we are making this move as a corrective structure. So that is why this corrective structure will expect a push higher, or either to that level or even to expand like that, and before it comes to the downside. We'll be expecting a bit of a push higher before this drops all the way. Okay, so that's one, that's two. push up and down. Now, so that is why last week I said from here you expect, it was this level, yes, from there you expect a drop to the downside. It has dropped. Let's go to the 4 hour, you'll see what we're talking about. So internally here, let me just show the structure here with the lines off so you can see the structure clearly and see where we're going. So we've got a move down, we've got a move up, we'll move up in the same degree. And here we're looking at this structure as a 1, regular flat, and now we're expecting this one to make this one. So that's why we're expecting that this will be a 1, this will be a 2, this will be a 3, and then a move down all the way. Okay, so that will make a WXY move. And that will complete this correction at around this level. That's what we're looking at Bitcoin. So that is why I'm keeping on, I keep on selling this. Okay, I'm not really trading this. I'm just showing you the analysis on that. If you go to the lower time frames, 4 hour, you'll see this has played out exactly as we analyzed last week. Those drops, we anticipated them to drop last week. Last week, if you go watch the last week's video, we anticipated that they will drop below this channel. Now it's correcting again. Well, I still expect it to drop again even this week. Okay, we're expecting this move to the downside. That's Bitcoin. Litecoin, similar. Also dropped as anticipated. You can see Litecoin, we spoke about this correction here. We spoke about this 1, 2, 3 there, a drop there, 1, 2, 3 down, 1, 2, 3 up, textbook stuff, coming down, and now it's making another corrective structure, possibility for it to drop even further. Okay, that's Litecoin. Ethereum. Ethereum as well has made 1, 2, 3 up right at the bottom of the swing. 1, 2. Okay, my chart has moved. Let's move it back again. So right at the end of the swing here on Ethereum, we've made a 3-wave move up, 1, 2, 3 down. We expect it to come back down to this level. That's why it's now correcting. We'll expect this to drop even further. One more before we drop. That's Ethereum and Ripple. Ripple has got a similar structure to that of US dollar ZAR. Let's look at Ripple. So Ripple, after that pulsing move, it has made a 1, it has made a 2, it has made a 3. It has made a 1, 2, 3, that is W, that is X, that is Y. It has made a 1, 2, 3 wave move down. Now it is making another one to the upside. Are we going to get a push higher to make this one another move to the downside? But for now, the puzzle is telling you that we're going to get one more up on Ripple. One more up on Ripple on the breakout of this correction. Then after that, one more up, there's likelihood that this one is going to drop. Okay, guys, that's all I had for you this morning. Good luck trading in the week ahead. Please like and subscribe the video. Thank you for attending. Thank you for watching. Cheers, guys. Have a great week. Cheers. Bye-bye.